What is happening YouTube? It's Jacob here from the Rush Dimension, and today we have our one teammate Willem with his third or fourth place, unsure,
fourth place Drytron.
Fourth place Drytron deck profile, and he's gonna show us what he was playing in his deck profile and a few combo pieces if you guys stick to the end. So Willem, show us what you did.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with my matchups first. The first one I played was Dragon Link, that was a 2-0. Shame the guy couldn't do much against Benton. Then Tri Brigade, I lost, the 1-2. He had double hand trap every turn, one turn he had 3 hand traps, and there can be only one, which you can usually play through, but there was a situation there where I couldn't get through it with 2 other hand traps as well. The third match I played was against Punk Agents. The guy, I won 2-1. The first match he just summoned out the King Calamity thing that says you can't activate card effects, so I couldn't do anything. Game 2 I just OTK'd him, or I made a board and he couldn't play, and then OTK'd, but then game 3 he obviously tried to make the Calamities, but I had Lava Golem, there's Hulk, so he couldn't summon out the Calamities, and I just had Alpha-Zeta, so I just OTK'd him. And the last match I 2-0'd Branded Despia because it's such an easy matchup for Drytron. It's like you just get the right stuff on the field and you make the Morph Reactor and then you just win from there. So the ratios are going to be triple Alpha is the one that searches the Ritual monster, and then triple Zeta as well, that's the one that searches the Ritual spell. So you open both of these, it's full combo. Then 3 Delta Altays. I don't play Pot of Prosperity, so that's why I play the Delta. And this one is just an extra name that actually gives you a draw. And it also triggers Benton, obviously, like all the Drytrons do, but I mean, I want to max out on the names except for Beta because he kind of sucks. Then I play 3 Gamma Altanen as well. If you open this with any other Drytron, it's Mubeta Fafnir, and then obviously you can play from there. So those are just for the Drytrons. So I don't own Diviner, and I'm not going to pay money for Diviner.
Since the last profile.
I mean, we all have jobs, but in South Africa we can't afford Diviner. So I play Manju instead, so just a one-off. It's your different normal summon if you're going second, or if you have a different combo where you don't have enough pieces for the other combo that I usually do. Manju sort of accomplishes the same thing. And if you play the Megalith version, you can actually make Babushka with this, and then obviously Sword Soul and Despia are set that they can't do anything.
Awesome.
My search target mostly off of Benton and to play through Nibiru is the Vanity's Ruler. So you can basically use this as your normal summon. Your opponent can't Nibiru, they can't Gamma, they can't basically do anything. Or you can just leave it on board and then obviously they can't do anything.
Poke for game.
Yeah, you just poke with Ruler, and most of the time that's game. Then for the supplementary ritual I play is the Morph Factor Pain, the Imagination Drag Overlord. For those of you who don't know, when you successfully ritual summon, your opponent skips the main phase 1, and then while he's on the field, all Fusion Xyz and Synchros are negated while they're on the field. So this thing is like a floodgate, and it allows you to live a turn because your opponent can't go into the battle. Well, you can go into the battle phase, but they have no monsters on the field to kill you. So if you have enough Drytrons engraved, then you can obviously just go for the OTK next turn and pop this off, and then obviously your opponent can't play. And against Sword Soul and Despia, it's insane. Then obviously, due to Konami being kind to us, they brought Benton back to 2.
Beautiful secrets.
This literally changed the deck from like a rogue deck to basically a tier 2 deck. And it gives you all the gas you need most of the time. Then obviously I still play the one Editon. Editon is pretty good in certain situations. And also it gives you another steal off of the most broken card in the deck, which is Natasha.
Going second is so easy with
You're
this
just cleaning boards with Natasha all the time. You literally pick apart the board, link it off, pick apart another monster. It's insane. And people usually try and dedecode the Natasha as soon as they see it, and then you just play Drytrons from there on. So I mean, it's not the end of the world. Then I play 3 Cyber Emergency, which is like the rotor for Drytrons. This thing is insane. If they ash it, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, you just wasted an ash. Then I play triple prep because I play the Morph Reactor build, so I want to get the full combo with this. Also, late game, this is nice because you can add a ritual and then add back the ritual spell from graveyard. So those are the consistency cards. Then also, I play 2 Drytron Fafnir. This searches for your Nova or your ritual spell, so it's technically another Drytron name.
Okay.
And just for like being funny as well. If you leave this on the field and you have a Drytron on the field, your opponent summons something, you can bump their level by 1 and just sort of mess up their plays.
Yeah.
Which is, it never comes up, but I mean, you could.
Yeah, links and synchros were there.
And then I play 2 Nova. I would play 3 if I had another one, but the thing is, the 2 of is actually better because it's a hard ones per turn, and you necessarily don't want to open this all the time. I mean, it's fantastic when you open it, but it depends on how your combo is going. You can still make it work with 2 instead of 3. And then obviously the 1 Medionis. I agree with Logan JYA, or Drykagi as people know him as. He says you play 1, if they crow it, it's fine, you just play Drytrons. And I don't fear the crow most of the time. The only thing they crow most of the time is Benton anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Then I play going second cards. It's a 3 Dark Ruler. Because it's a combo deck, you need to break boards. Going second, so I don't play any hand traps, just try and kill through the board. Then I play Chalice. I would play Droplets if I had it, but obviously I'm not that rich. So, and Chalice is pretty good as well.
Student life.
Yeah, like Chalice is pretty good because it allows you to go second and just spot negate something, which obviously helps you, especially against something like Dweller or like a Hulk that tries to tag out, or stopping the Scythe lock. You don't necessarily need your H-Stick, but sometimes it's nice. Then I play the 1 Ritual. This is like another search target off of the Terraforming that I also play. And this can search out your Benton or like your Ritual spells. So I mean, it's just a nice thing if you already have, the Fafnir, and then you have Terraforming as well. It's not a dead card.
So that was better over something like Mystic Mine?
I don't want to play Mystic Mine.
The man of class.
And then another consistency card is Foolish Burial. It's just basically another Drytron name. And obviously it's like you have to play it. You play from the graveyard most of the time, and then obviously the most broken card is called by the grave.
Yeah, so your combos can go through.
Yeah.
And then into the extra.
Yeah, so extra first. I'm going to start with the Xyz because most of the time these are the things that basically make your combo go through, or you just win the game with them.
Yeah, the meat of the deck is right here.
Yeah, so you have your AA batteries. This is the guy that clears the board. That's like a better going second option. Then the 1 Beatrice, which you can make if you usually brick a bit, then you just make Beatrice and then go off like that. I hardly ever summon it these days. If I had Divine, it would be much easier to summon.
Yeah.
Then the 1 down it, obviously to put on to make 2 Mad Zeus. Then obviously the Mubeta Fafnir. I only have 1. I would play a second if I had another one. But 1 has been doing fine. Like I've never really missed another one. And then I just play the 1 Assembled Nightingale. I don't have
for the Zeus.
Yeah, I don't have the Future, and I would play the Future, but this thing also comes up quite often where you can like attack twice for like 800 damage and just end the game there.
Especially in time.
Exactly, yeah. Then for the links, I play Boral Sword. Obviously, this thing is broken in Drytron. It's basically a going second boss monster. I play the 1 Avramax. This would be changed out for the second Fafnir, but still going against Sky Striker with this thing. Summoning it with IP, basically you're going to win that game by just sitting on it. They can't out it. Like most backer decks have a hard time outing Avramax with the IP. Then obviously Appaloosa, because it's insanely easy to summon in this deck. Especially with the IP, and you just link away in your opponent's turn to make a Appaloosa. And obviously we all know Appaloosa is good, so...
That's why we play it.
Exactly, yeah. And then I play full Nightmare package. Because it's the 1 Unicorn, Phoenix, and Cerberus. Unicorn is mostly like for your IP. Cerberus is specifically to clear things like the Virtual World Synchro, what's his name? Shen, yeah. So then obviously, or like try and force out a, Herald of Arclight. And Phoenix is just overall very good. And usually I can co-link a few of the Nightmares to get a few draws and just play further. Then I play the 1 Liner. I know Drytrons lock you into the restriction where you can't special summon something that can't be normal, that can be normal summon or set. However, going against Sword Soul, you just out the Shisha, use this summon back to Shisha, and then make Unicorn or something. So it's pretty good. And also, when you brick, you make the Liner and you crash it into a stronger monster and then search another Drytron, continue on playing. So it's pretty good. I think it can also search Benton, I'm not sure, but I mean, that's just if it happens like that. Then obviously the 1 IP. Herald of Mirage Lights, which is insane as part of the first board, and it just negates the spell of trap, and it also recycles when it dies, so it's pretty good. And then obviously the Link Karibo, which is mandatory if you're playing Drytron because they're all level 1s. And it gives you a nice co-link with the Phoenix and the Cerberus if you're going second.
So you don't do Anima?
I did for a while, and it came up a bit, but the thing is with Anima, it's very situational. Your opponent has to play into the zones.
Yeah.
And
By
also,
now, most people play around the zones or even in the zones.
exactly, and I would rather have the Link Rebo that's pointing down so I can collect the Nightmares and get a few extra draws and just cycle through the deck a bit easier. And Link Rebo is also there to protect your IP if you're going first, so they don't just crash into it. But yeah, the side deck...
I guess in a more kaiju heavy format, you should probably rethink the Anima then.
Yeah, the thing is you can't use kaijus in this deck because obviously the restriction of the Drytron prevent you from summoning a kaiju. But however,
You forgot about it.
you are right because in my side deck I play 3 Lava Golem. so all I can do is just summon Lava Golem into the zone that Anima is pointing to. But Lava Golem is insane. It actually won me the...
Guess that's an alternative. Eh?
Yeah, but the thing is, this thing is a 3k beat stick as well, so you can just steal it with Natasha and then just poke with it and
Just stab, link it off before you pass.
Exactly, yeah. But usually by that time the game is over, so. But this actually won me the game against the punk, the punk agents.
Yeah.
Because I just, obviously my priority, I just tributed off the Hulk and then just, he couldn't calamities me and then obviously I just had Alpha-Zeta and won the game from there.
Yeah, he was losing that game from the start. He was just paying too many life points.
So then obviously I played Double Crow. This is just for going second against Despia. This stops the Brandon in red, and also it has niche applications in the mirror match as well, so you just Crow the Benton or whatever. But it's usually, I hardly ever side it in anymore, so I might just actually change this out for the third roll, obviously I'm showing now. Oh yeah, the other card I don't play is the Draconets because I don't have it. If I had it, I would definitely play it because Draconets is insane. But in any case, I have 2 draws. This is just to stop the Flanders and the mirror match as well. Yeah. And it actually came up against the punk agents because they do search quite a bit. But it did get called by the Graves, so it didn't even matter.
Oops.
But Flander is never, it comes in against Flander, but Flander isn't that really, it's not that hard of a matchup to play against because, I mean, Drytrons can all summon in defense. It's only the barrier statue that does a bit of damage, but I mean, that's why you play Chalice and Dark Rulers.
Yeah.
Then I sided the 1 Quantrids. The reason for this, it's unaffected by, or it can't be targeted by Spell Trap effects, and it's basically a Harpy's Feather Duster. So against Sky Striker, which is this deck's worst matchup, you just summon this thing and try and clear their back row and try and beat them down with it. Because they can't target it, so it's much harder for them to out. And if they try and out it by, let's say, access code or something, then obviously you get to special summon 2 Drytrons from Grave. So it becomes much harder to clear this thing. And you can mill it off of New Beta Fafnir and then get this on field, and just going second against back row decks is pretty insane. Then obviously mandatory Triple Twin Twister. This is just to play against back row decks, and the 1 Feather Duster. It's Feather Duster, so I think you have to play it. And then the side deck choice that I made for the meta, obviously, like everybody is doing, is siding D barrier. However, the thing is, I would actually change out the D barriers for Point of the Red Lotus, just to play through like Dark Ruler or whatever, things that put off your board. But I would most likely just side this out for Pointer.
Okay.
Because it's not as strong as you think it would be most of the time, and you have to actually draw it, which is yeah, that's a deck. Like I said, it's X1, so I mean, I had fun playing it.
Right,
and I found this is like the most consistent version of what I have available. So.
Right, awesome. So I'm gonna give you a moment to stack the deck for some 2-card, 3-card combos. So I'm gonna pause the video here, and we'll get back to you in a second. All right, we are back, and we have stacked the deck, and the field is ready. So take it away.
Okay, so the first combo is just Alpha-Zeta. This is the most, I would say, easy combo to perform in the deck. Alpha-Zeta is always the bread and butter combo. So your first effect would obviously be to go Alpha, reveal Tribute Zeta for cost, special summon. So that adds a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. So you're going to add the Benton. Then you go from Graveyard, Zeta, tributing Benton for cost, and then this searches a ritual spell. So you add the Meteor's Drytron. On a new chain, the Benton is going to trigger, and that is actually going to search any light fairy. So what I do is I just search out the Vanity's Ruler, and then I'm just going to overlay these 2, go into Move Beta Fafnir, and his effect is going to trigger. So then I send the Gamma, which is the one that reborns, and then special summons a Drytron from Grave. So then you go Meteorus, and you detach one of his materials as the tribute fodder, and you special summon the Benton from Grave. Now, this is already the 4th summon, but if they're Nibiru, you don't really care, because you can still play through Nibiru and you just tribute summon over the total, so you don't really mind doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, this is the 4th summon now, so then you go Gamma, tributing the Benton for cost, and then this will special summon another monster. So this will be summon 6 technically, and Benton is still going to trigger, adding any light fairy, adding the Natasha. So if they're Nibiru, yeah, it hurts a bit, but it's not the end of the world. So what you do then is you just activate the Medionis Drytron, target one of your, either, like, it doesn't matter which Drytron you target, and you add it back to your hand. So then all you do is you go Medionis again, tribute this material, and then summon out the Benton. So now you haven't normal summoned yet, so what you do is you tribute summon over your Benton and you move out of Fafnir, summon out the Vanity's Ruler, and from there on there's no Nibiru or Gamma or whatever. So a Benton is going to trigger again because it was tributed. Then you're going to search a follow-up, which is usually for me Manju. I mean, you could play Orange Light here as well, or Orange Light here as well, and then you still have a monster negate. But I just found that this is a bit better for me now. I might actually change out the Ritual Sanctuary for the Orange Light and take out the Terraforming and make that like a Lancia or something. So then you link off the 2 Drytrons because they're the same type and attribute. So you can make the Herald of Mirage Lights. This is a spell and trap negate. So by sending a light fairy from it or just a fairy from your hand. So all you do is when they try and implement your ruler, then you just send. You can't play through Dark Ruler with this combo, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
They're not going to kill you through with Dark Ruler anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And you have follow-up in Graveyard if they Dark Ruler you. The nice thing about this as well, if Herald gets destroyed by battle, card effect, or sent to the grave by any way your opponent can, you get to add back up to 2 rituals or ritual spells from the graveyard. So you just recycle these 2 into your hand and continue playing with your Drytrons that are on the grave already.
Nice.
And also, like, for the follow-up, you have Gamma, Alpha, and Zeta on your grave. So you're most likely going to start OTKing them. And you can still special summon on the ruler, your opponent just can't.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to pack the deck quickly now for the 3-card combo as well.
Alright, and we'll be back in a second. And we are back. So here we go with the 3-card combo. Or is it 2.5?
Well, it's technically a 3-card combo because you need specific cards in your hand. So you need Alpha, Zeta, and a way to get to Benton, which is quite easy because you play Prep and you play Ritual Sanctuary, so it's going to be easy to get to.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah, so this one I'm going to use Vanity's Ruler and not Manju. So there are 2 variations of this combo, but this one actually ends on quite a disgusting board. So what you're going to do is you're going to go Alpha and you pitch Benton. And what's going to happen is this is going to search the Morphactor Pain, and then Benton is going to trigger on a new chain to search any Light Fairy, which is going to be another Benton, because it can search itself. Then you're going to go Zeta Effect, pitch the Benton, and then search a Ritual spell, which is your Medionis. In a new chain, Benton is going to activate to search Vanity's Ruler. So what you're going to do is then you're going to overlay into Move Beta Fafnir. That activates, you're going to send out the Gamma. Then you're going to activate the Medionis and detach one of these materials, summon out the Benton. What you're going to do is then you're going to activate Gamma, tributing the Benton for cost, and then special summon the other Drytron that you detach to the grave. Now Benton is going to trigger in a new chain again, and it's going to search any follow-up or anything you need, any Light Fairy basically. Then you're going to activate the Medionis by dropping one of these guys and adding it back to your hand. What you do then is you just Vanity's Ruler, tribute over these 2. So now your opponent can't special summon and they can't Gamma you as well, which is nice. So then you're going to activate Medionis, tributing these 2 and summoning your Morph Reactor. So this effect triggers, then your opponent skips their main phase 1, and basically they have a battle phase with no monsters on the field. They can't even summon a monster, and also if they try and out the Vanity's Ruler, then the effects of the extra deck monsters are negated. If they out this, then they still have Vanity's Ruler to deal with. So either or, you get basically a lockdown, and you have full Drytron names in graveyard, because your follow-up is just Manju, which is just normal summon, and then add Natasha, and then you have all your Drytron effects online again. So basically, if you can keep one of these on the field, you should be fine. It's very difficult for people to play through this combo. I mean, if they have Dark Ruler, they have Dark Ruler, so it's, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, still, they skip their main phase 1, so their battle phase means nothing. So I can just read back quickly and just show you a different variation of the same combo.
Yeah, this is disgusting. Alright, then we will be back. Alright, then we are ready for number 3.
Okay, so this is just a bit of a variation from the previous combo. So if you don't want to end on the Vanity's Ruler, you can still end on the, the Morph Reactor, but you can get a bit of a different setup where you can either go for a 3-mat Appaloosa, or you can go for a Unicorn, or you can go for just a Spell and Trap Negate with Link Karibo extra and still get your Morph Reactors. So it depends on what the matchup is, but this combo is a bit more adaptable. If you're playing against a deck like Outlet or whatever, then I mean, the Morph Reactor doesn't actually do anything, but I mean, it's still nice to have that option.
Yeah.
So you can just go again, Alpha, Tribute Benton. It's going to search the Morph Reactor. Then Benton is going to trigger in a new chain, and this time you're going to search another Benton again, and then Zeta tributes the Benton and searches the Ritual spell. Benton is going to trigger, and this time instead of searching the the Vanity's Ruler, you're going to search out the Manju. Now you're going to overlay these two again, going to move to Fafnir. This is still the same step basically. That's going to mill your Gamma, same thing as before. You're going to activate the Meteor's Drytron, sending one of the materials, summon out the Benton. So that's in the graveyard. Then you're going to activate the Gamma alternate effect, tribute the Benton, and then you're going to summon out another Drytron from grave. It's going to be a Zeta. Benton is going to trigger in a new chain, and it's going to search the Editon. So now what you do is you go Meteor's Drytron, drop one of these guys, add this back to your hand. Then you are going to go and normal summon the Manju. Manju is going to search for the Natasha. Well, the Natasha or like the last, this is basically the last ritual monster. If you have Draconids, you can search that as well. Then you're going to activate the Meteorus, and you're going to tribute from the Mube to Fafnir, and you're going to summon out the Editon. Now Editon is going to activate to add back the Meteorus Drytron from your grave to your hand. What you can do then is you activate the Meteorus, and you're going to tribute these two guys. Sorry, no. You're going to tribute these two guys. So it's a 2k and a 1k, and then summon out the Morph Reactor. And obviously it skips your opponent's next main phase. Then you're going to link these two, this is engraved. You're going to link these two because they have the same type and attribute. You're going to make the Mirage Lights. So now you can either keep this on board or you can link it into a Link Karibo. I mean, I don't have a battle phase, but it just gives you extra material. So you can either have the Spell and Trap Negate with the Morph Reactor, or you can just exchange this for an IP, which makes it a lot easier to play because now you actually have a Unicorn to disrupt anything on main phase 2 as well. So it depends on what you play. If you're playing against Branded, you're going to win anyway because you have this, but you still have another option. If they negate this and you make the Herald, then you can just negate the Branded Fusion with that. But if you're playing against, let's say, Sword Soul or something, you can have the IP here with the Link Karibo and then just make Unicorn and spin away their Moye or their Longyan or whatever they basically use. And against Flunder, basically you're skipping their main phase 1. So what you can do also is just link the IP, the Link Karibo and the Morph Reactor, and you can go into an Appaloosa for 3. And you still have the Natasha in hand for follow-up. So that makes it a bit easier to play against that deck. Also, if you're playing against the mirror match, basically this thing does nothing. So all you do is you make these into Appaloosa and then just win the game because Drytron can't play against Appaloosa. Which is, by the way, the reason why I play Chalice as well. So because Appaloosa is basically an FTK against Drytron. But yeah, those are the 2 3-card combos and the 2-card combo that I usually go for. If you have more Drytrons in your hand, you can obviously like expand the combo. If you already drew the Gamma, you can obviously just send out the other one, the what's his name now? Can't remember his name. It's going to be the Delta Altaze. You can send that either, or you can just draw that and then just send the Gamma. It depends on what you do. And if you have Draconids as well, you can just obviously make another board while keeping your Mube to Fafnir on the field and having another Spell and Trap Negate that way as well. So it depends on what you have in your hand, but that's like the set combo you can work with. And going second, like I said, Natasha is just ridiculous, so you can just steal balls and make the game.
Alright, thank you very much and congratulations on your placing.
Thanks, man.
Great having you on the team. And for those on YouTube, please like the video as always. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment if there's anything differently that you would have done. And we will try and relay it to Willem. Maybe he can figure out a way to play the deck even better. And we will see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.